The Royal British Legion is an organisation for ex-servicemen and women to support them after they have left the forces. There are many British Legion clubs throughout the country, and a number of these have connections with marching bands. One of these being the Surbiton Royal British Legion Youth Marching Band. The Surbiton Royal British Legion Youth Marching Band is a non-profit organisation. It was set up in 1965 for young people between the ages of 18 and 25. The original band was set up as a boy band and had a total of 12 members. Following a grant from the Royal Borough of Kingston Youth Service and a loan from the Surbiton British Legion, instruments were bought and the boys were dressed in converted Church Boys Brigade uniforms and Royal Marine caps. The band carried out its first public engagement at Remembrance Parade in 1965. In the year 2000, girls were introduced into the band, wearing the same uniform as the boys. This was a break in tradition and was seen as the way forward for the band. These days, the band consists of approximately 30 members, ranging in age from 8 to 25. Each member is given a uniform, instrument and tuition, and from the beginning they are encouraged to take part in parades and events around the country.
I'm Lieutenant Ron Spence and I'm bandmaster for the Surbiton RBL Youth Marching Band, and I play an E-flat tuba. I joined the band in 1988 as an 8-year-old. We used to do some really big jobs, big performances at the Lord Mayor Show and various events like that, and the band was very well known at the time as being one of the largest, most well known bands in the UK.
I'm Ross Millard, I am Band Sergeant Major. I've been in the band 21 years, I've been playing the drum for 28 years. I'm Band Secretary, so I get the jobs for the band and organise all the engagements. And I'm an instructor for the drum section, so I teach all the new kids from scratch and hopefully build them up to be good drummers.
Hi, my name's Pete Churchill. I've been in the band for 2 years. I currently play baritone. I also get involved in the fundraising side of the band and the social side. The biggest fundraiser in the year is our summer fair, which is our fun day, which we advertise to the general public and hopefully raise money for the band.
I play the flugelhorn in the band. It's kind of like a trumpet but mellower, so everyone always asks me what it is. I've been playing since I was 8, but I've been in the Surbiton Royal British Legion since I was 18, so for 3 years.
The structure of the band has changed little over the 52 years that it's been going, with drill and parade ground skills being almost as important as playing. You can't be a marching band if you can't march. When members join, they very rarely know the difference between an F sharp and a B flat, so tuition is given by older members. At the beginning of each practice, the band splits into 3 groups: percussion, woodwind and brass, and each young member is given help, individually and within a group, to improve their musicianship.
It's important that the youngsters get one-to-one as much as we can, teaching, so they can be concentrated on and give them the full time that we can give them. Band practices are really important. We have an instructor that comes in on a Thursday in particular who is a professional musician. He's taken the band to a new level since he's been taking the whole band, conducting the whole band, and we're really grateful for him for being in the band.
Band practices themselves, we practice twice a week, Thursday and Sunday morning. It's about teaching the youngsters either drill or musicianship. It can be quite formal at practices, but we do tend to have canteen breaks where the kids can let their hair down, run around a bit and enjoy themselves.
In the band we teach younger members to play instruments and teach them how to read music and all those kind of things. And then we also teach them drills, so teach them how to march, teach them how to swing their arms properly. And when they get this done properly, they get their uniforms and then they get a lanyard to go around the uniform, which is quite a big thing. Like, to be fair, I was 18 when I got mine and I was very excited. So I don't know what it's like for like a 8, 9, 10-year-old to get it as well. It must be quite exciting.
So one of the events the band takes part in is the Kingston Borough Band's Tattoo, or KBBT. This happens every other year in a local leisure centre. The event is organised by a committee which is made up of members from each of the local bands within the area. Now, KBBT consists of arena displays where the band will come in and perform for 10 minutes or so to various different bits of music, and will also do figure marching, which is like marching in different directions, quick march, slow march, making shapes, a drum static, and hopefully wow the audience with that. We always like to think that we're the best band in town when it comes to that. Waiting for big events or competitions, it can be quite nerve-wracking. Years ago I used to be quite nervous about making a mistake myself. Now I get quite nervous about the whole band's performance. Being an instructor, the whole band's been working so hard for an event, and you're worried about any of them making mistakes or people getting it right, because you know that it's been weeks of preparation, yet you might only be performing for 10 minutes, and that 10 minutes is the big key moment.
The band used to take part every year in a huge competition for youth bands at the Royal Albert Hall. It was very prestigious to do. Obviously, playing at the Albert Hall, not many people actually get to do that, but we used to do it every year. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore, but it was a good way of introducing youngsters to responsibility and learning routines that we used to have to do for those competitions. It was completely pitch black when we walked in, and we used to have a metal slope that you would march down onto the arena floor, and a lot of people used to slip because we wore hobnail boots, and which was quite funny, but not at the time because we were quite nervous and young, but it was good fun.
So being in the band can be quite a high profile thing, being a quite good looking front row drummer, you can end up on the front page of a paper. You can be on TV quite often, so we've been on Dick and Dom in the Bungalow, Lord Mayor's Show, New Year's Day, and lots of events like that we've taken part in. Also, you quite often get to meet quite famous people like Russell Grant, Penelope Keith, sometimes even the Queen.
So we went to Paris for New Year's 2 years ago, and we had the privilege of performing at Disneyland Paris during their parade. It was great fun. It was very interesting to see all the behind the scenes and see what goes into actually making the parade, and it was so much fun to actually be a part of it and to march down the middle of Disneyland Paris, really. It was great to spend the day as well in Disneyland with the whole band and socialise with everyone and have just one of the best New Year's I've ever had.